Hey, I'm Key, and this is keyKEYadventures. Please be sure to like and subscribe. On my channel, you can expect to hear about my experiences with credit card, points, and miles in my past, the mistakes I've made along the way, as well as my future travel goals. Today, I want to make a quick video about my experiences with both timeshare and vacation ownership presentation. First, if you're the type of person that debates getting a Kohl's credit card after you're checking out to save 2 nickels, definitely do not attend one of these presentations. The sales tactics they use are definitely on the very advanced side, and if you're susceptible to any sort of sales tactics, they'll definitely probably get you. Back in January, I actually took a trip from the East Coast all the way to San Diego to go on my first timeshare presentation of the year. It was with Hilton Vacation Clubs. This timeshare presentation was actually booked from a solicitation when they gave me a call over the phone. It cost me about $150, and I could choose any 4 days and 3 nights to come all the way to San Diego for the presentation. I was obligated to stay 90 minutes. Upon the presentation, we were obligated to stay 90 minutes, as I mentioned, but that doesn't start until the presentation begins. So basically, you go to the check-in area and, it seems like there's a lot of Hilton workers kind of walking around and not so many people doing these presentations. Again, it could be, I went in January, so check-in, they validated that we were, I think, over the age of 25. They brought us up to a second floor where there were a bunch of tablets and iPads and things like that, where we had to fill out this survey. Basically, have you traveled? Where would you go if you could? How many days per year do you travel? The one presenter was presenting both to myself and my girlfriend, and basically the first part of it was building a rapport. How much do you normally spend on hotel nights, and how often, how many days per year do you travel? Where do you guys go? And then what's on like the bucket list, I would say, right? What are those aspirational properties you're looking to get to? The second half of the presentation, it was more about him and his story, right? Of course, he happens to own one of these vacation clubs, and overall, nothing bad to say about the presentation. Nevertheless, it kind of concludes, right, with him saying, unfortunately, his wife or his fiance passed away 6 months before they were going to take their first trip using his vacation club package, and it was always the timing wasn't right. That was kind of the moral of his story. The moral was great, definitely did not pull on my heartstrings, because honestly, I'm not sure if that is something that each of those salesmen and salespeople just say as part of their script, or if that was genuinely true. Now, basically, after he has all this information, there's a whole bunch of like numbers, and the package is on points, but not like hotel points. It was some type of point system, and you guys know I've used over 5.4 million credit card points and miles, so I'm pretty experienced with different award charts and just using points in general. Whatever type of point system these vacation packages are on, I don't understand it. I genuinely went in there with an open mind, just trying to understand how people actually purchase these things, and I just couldn't figure it out. So, like I said, if you're the type of person that goes into Kohl's and as you're checking out, the cashier's like, do you want to open a charge card to save 5 pennies? And you're actually considering that, definitely don't go to the timeshare presentation, because this is kind of the point in the presentation where they're going to get you. For some reason, the package that we selected, I don't know, we selected like the lowest, I think one of the lower packages just to get pricing, because I was curious, right? How much does this stuff cost? The first go around, our salesman goes off, 10 minutes, comes back, provides us a quote of, I think it was $24,000. And basically with that $24,000, you get X amount of points, which translate into nights, whether those nights are just off-peak nights basically, or premier nights. That's how the point system works. Obviously, we were not there to purchase a timeshare. So ultimately we were like, no, thank you. Appreciate the time. It's not a timing thing. It's just, we're just no. So he goes back and gets, I'm guessing, a manager or something like that, who comes over with a tablet And no lie, she spoke at 700 miles a minute. So even if I was kind of on the fence considering this, I couldn't tell you one thing she said, to be honest with you. Not one clue. It was like, okay, we've dropped the price. So it went from $24,000, just like I said, all the way down to $15,000. They were talking about adding bonus points and 0% offer on a credit card, and you get 10 years to pay. Again, what? No, I'm not interested. So you already know, we went through that whole process. No. We probably said no, I don't know, 10 to 15 times before they're like, all right, we'll walk you downstairs. Our salesman had this pouty face, super sad. No one ever says no to him, I think is what he said. And we went to this off-boarding room, basically a small office where they ask you, how was the presentation? How come you didn't buy today? And they actually offer you the ability to vacation for, I think it's like a full week, 7 full days in specific locations. I don't remember all of the locations except to say it was like Washington, D.C. I want to say there was some property in Tennessee, Las Vegas, and then there were 3 others. And the price actually wasn't bad. I think it was maybe $500 for a full week stay, so a full 7 days. But again, we were honestly just there to receive our certificates and honestly just explore San Diego. So that was my experience, and that was our experience with the Hilton Grand Vacations. Now, as a result of the $150 that I spent and the time that I spent doing the presentation, I actually received a $200 spend a night on us certificate. I chose DoubleTree just because I really like the cookies, but you could have selected any of the major Hilton brands. Now, the $200 spend a night on us certificate does come with a whole bunch of terms and conditions. I do want to just highlight 2 of them. First of which is that it has to be used at a US-based DoubleTree property. Next is that this certificate can actually only be used 6 months after my presentation. So the certificate works, basically, I pay the $200 or up to $200 to stay at a DoubleTree property in the US. And then I mail in the certificate as well as my hotel folio, which is basically just your hotel bill with all the itemized charges. And it says within 10 to 14 business days, I'll receive a Visa gift card with $200 or whatever I spent up to $200 on that DoubleTree night. In addition to attending the Grand Vacation Club presentation, I did receive a Royal Caribbean cruise. A few stipulations with this cruise credit as well. It's only good on 3-night or 4-night cruises, valid going to the Bahamas or the Caribbean. This certificate actually expires 1 year from the date of issuance, so meaning I need to book something at least before January of 2025, but it can be on any cruise between 1 and 3 years from now. Now, although it's not a traditional free cruise like this hotel certificate, I will actually have to pay port fees and taxes associated with the cruise. Last thing I want to mention on this particular certificate with Royal Caribbean, I'm actually going to try to wait to book this until I get an Amex offer or other type of credit card offer. So that way I'm kind of stacking my points. What I mean by that is I'll actually add an offer to one of my credit cards. Most likely it'll be American Express. And then I'll give this phone number a call and I'll actually earn American Express membership rewards points for booking this cruise and paying for those fees and taxes. Sometimes American Express has MR points or membership rewards points that you'll get back if you spend a certain amount, or even they'll give you cash back after spending X amount of dollars as well. I genuinely look forward to the cruise that I'll go on, and let me know down below, have you personally gone on a cruise, and specifically Royal Caribbean? What should I be on the lookout for? Any tips there? All right, so I did actually attend a second timeshare presentation. This one was with Marriott. I'll put a link down in the description. This timeshare presentation with Marriott was actually from the comfort of my own home. I was able to do it over a Microsoft Teams meeting, and as a result, I'll actually receive 50,000 Marriott Bonvoy points. Now, the same type of experience with the salesperson. The process was, making sure teams worked and, making sure we were free of distractions. Going into it, I actually thought the presentation would be like different groups of people and then a presenter, but it was very similar to this, like one-on-one, like me and you having the conversation. Again, starting off with, getting to know, who I am and, what my travel goals were. This time I smartened up a little bit and I gave some lowball answers, right? I said, honestly, my travel goals are really just going to Major League Baseball stadiums. So a lot of these are in very not aspirational locations. I think I said, like, no offense if you're from Cleveland. I said Cleveland. I said Kansas City. I think I said Pittsburgh as well. So just lowballing it, right? Because they put all of this information into some calculator. It's not really a future value calculator, but maybe it is. I have no idea. It's some proprietary thing. Where they basically put what you say is your average cost that you spend on hotels per night, and they kind of extrapolate that over a bajillion years, right? Saying, okay, you're 30 years old today, you're probably going to spend another 30 years traveling, and they, make up some ridiculous number on, you're already going to spend this money anyways, why not spend it with Marriott Timeshare? Again, the woman was super nice. She also had a sob story, which, again, if it's genuine, my heart goes out to her and her family, but I'm not sure, right? Two salesmen, two different companies, and they both have sad stories. Just seems a bit much. Obligation was 90 minutes, but genuinely I was asking questions throughout. Again, I'm just trying to understand how people actually purchase these things. So I was asking genuine questions throughout the presentation just to make sure I was understanding what she was saying. Very similar to Hilton, Marriott has this point system, and allegedly it's inflation proof, and they haven't changed the award chart in, X amount of years. Honestly, no clue. Not even sure I believe that, to be honest with you, but nevertheless, let's get down to the money. Towards the end of the presentation, we're winding down. I'm over it at this point because we're already past the time. I'm kind of just speeding her along. I think I said, I'm kind of ready for a Jerry Maguire moment, and I was like, can you just show me how much this costs? I think I said that. And kind of after I did that, we did one more exercise. She's showing me pictures of her family, and then we finally got to the numbers. Again, this package, I don't know exactly, but I think it was like 1,500 timeshare points with Marriott. That equated to about $23,000 initially, and then obviously we went through a series of no's, and she mentioned something about adding additional points on if we sign today, because today this is the best price there's ever going to be, and we locked that in. Ultimately, towards the end, we got down to, I want to say it was either $13,000 or $16,000. Again, I wasn't really paying that much attention because I knew the answer was no anyways, but just genuinely interested, like, how far do you think I could get that price down? Not saying I would purchase, I'm just genuinely interested because I've already done 2 of these presentations, and they start at the mid to low $20,000 range, and we kind of get discount quite a bit by the time I say no about 5-6 times. So all in all, between January and February, I did 2 timeshare presentations, one with Hilton and another with Marriott. 89% confident that I will never, ever buy a timeshare, but I am interested in doing these in the future, and that I can get Visa or MasterCard gift cards, I can get free night hotel stays, as well as points that you already know your girl likes to maximize the points on these different hotel programs. So this is definitely something I'll continue throughout this year as well as next year, as long as these companies allow it. So I know that you made it to the end of the video. Drop a palm tree emoji down below, and I'll be sure to like it. Thank you so much, and until next time.